Fundisa for Change approaches to facilitation. My name is Dr. Wilma van Staden, and today we will be looking at what are the different kinds of online courses available on the Fundisa for Change website, and then what does it really mean, what's the difference between facilitation and e-learning facilitation. So all of you know the website, so welcome to the website. And what courses can you use? There's a variety of different courses for different levels for teachers. Most of these courses are for teachers, but anybody that's in environmental education can benefit from these courses. So these are examples for teaching climate change in life orientation, self and society, environmental and social responsibility, and human rights, social justice in climate action. So these courses addresses climate change within these topics. We have courses in geography, life science, green economy, and then of course the introduction to Fundisa for Change in ESD that you are busy with at the moment. So here are the examples of natural science, the geography courses, and then also foundation phase courses. What are the Fundisa for Change approaches to facilitation and e-learning facilitation? Well, we try to have a reflexive pedagogy. So the approach adopted by Fundisa for Change program includes support for pedagogical approaches used to facilitate courses that enable critical, reflexive engagement with education for sustainable development and environmental content, including active and critical engagement and deliberative processes. So teaching ESD matters of concern through a solution-focused approach. We have been focused about that quite clearly, so that we look at a matter of concern such as climate change from a point of view that it seems that in the past the general way of designing lessons to teach matters of concern have been problem-based orientated approach, where one starts the lesson with a drought-stricken image and polar bears floating on every decreasing block of ice. So this is a kind of problem-based teaching that focuses on the extreme, the disaster, the problem, and students then experience emotional ranging from hopelessness to resignation, worry, anger, fear, threat, and it brings doomsday scenarios into the realm of the expected. So studies have shown, especially from Hoffman, that this type of problem-based approach does not provide an adequate basis for the learners to immediately engage with the global challenges present in a solution-oriented manner. Instead, it sets discussions in motion of a fears triggered during the lesson. So what do we look at? Instead of a problem-solution oriented, where we look at the problem, which reason can be identified that there's a problem, and which dimensions can the problem grow from, which consequences can this problem have, and what solutions can we look at? We look at fascinating ideas of suggested solutions. So we would say, we have a problem with climate change, but here is case studies of example of people, what they have been doing to adapt to climate change and also mitigate climate change. And then look at curiously, but how is that possible? How are they doing that? And what problems are they really addressing? And then so how far does the suggestion solution reach? Can you and your group and the people that you are training actually address that and contextualize it into their situation? And how can then we solve other problems in the same kind of way? So what we look at, we spoke about activating learning-led ESD for students. And if we look at lesson planning for and with students around real-world stories of change and concerns, looking at a solution-oriented approach, we would start with a story or a case study. It can be a story in history, it can be a case study, it can be... but the matter of concern is always in the circle. So let's say we are looking at climate change or sustainability. We will then provide a story, a case study on that, then allow the students to inquire about that now, okay, but what is the real problem around that we are trying to face, and then how can we make things better? We deliberate about it, and then we have some kind of activity that sort of brings in change. So we talk about that as curriculum activated change. So our matter of concerns are mostly focused on sustainable development goals because that is in environmental education. And if we look at competencies of ESD learning action, the subject teaching with the inclusion of assessment of ESD competencies include critical thinking, system thinking, problem solving, anticipation, normative, strategic, collaboration, and self-awareness. Thank you so much for listening to the presentation. I hope it was helpful.